True Crime Podcast with Amber Hammond and Angel Mays.
Welcome to our podcast. This is Color Me Dead with Angel Mays.
And Amber Hammond. How is everybody?
We are going to do, our first episode is basically just going to be an introduction. So that you guys get an opportunity to get a feel for who we are and what we're going to be doing.
And how awkward that we are, because we have no idea what we're doing.
We're brand new. We're new.
Yes, and don't be surprised. I've tried to section off my children. They have multiple snacks and TV, but you never know.
But they also have little fingers that work knobs and they break into shit.
Yes, they do.
So we are not professionals, clearly. But what we are going to do is start a podcast that we want you to enjoy along with us, because something that we love to discuss is true crime.
Yeah, we love it. And we've been friends for, I don't even know how many years. It feels like a lifetime, so it doesn't really matter.
I don't know. Our husbands are
friends. I like the thing.
The gesture I just made was really inappropriate because our husbands have been friends for a long, long time. And Ember was friends with my husband before he and I started dating. So we've been friends for a long time, and we have a lot of common interests, and this is one of them. And we often find ourselves in positions where we start discussing true crime with, like, potential new friends.
Right, which doesn't always work out because we find it interesting and we talk about it all the time. So we'll be in groups and we'll be like, oh, did you hear about this? Blah, blah, blah. And sometimes people just look at us and they're like, we're in a bad, dark place right now. And I don't know how to get out.
My babysitter just called and has to go home, so we're going to have to leave. And they're, like, texting fucking Mayday to each other.
Phone a friend.
Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. I get the fuck away from these two.
But at least we have one good friend. At least Nikki stays with us.
We do have Nikki, who eventually I would love to have her spot in on some of our future episodes. But she's the gentle lamb.
She is.
Oh, wee lamb.
She's like, we can be like, we're not bad. Look at her. Look at this one. She's with us.
We're a wolf pack.
Right?
And this one's okay.
Right? If we didn't have Nikki, our husbands would probably never allow us out in public again, because we just can't be trusted.
Yeah, but you weren't with us on New Year's Eve, and Nikki was a complete shit show, and Spencer was mad as fuck because we couldn't behave.
Oh, wow.
Like, she tripped over the dog, fell down on her face in the kitchen, and then slept on the floor.
Hey, play with the demon long enough, and you start turning into one. That's all I gotta say.
It's beautiful. Brought a tear to my eye. So, moving forward with true crime, we're going to talk about serial killers, murderers.
And we're gonna hit on all of the detail. And not all the time do I even want to, like, say
certain things out loud.
Yeah, everything that happens, but it's important because you kind of have to, I think, or else you kind of, like, get this, like, Disney version.
Right. No, I think that when you go in talking about murder, serial killers, you know, little kids have been abducted or whatever, like, murder is obscene. It's gross. It's
vulgar. It's in your face.
Yeah, but you can't just be like, oh, well, this little kid got kidnapped, some shit happened, and then they found him dead. No, that's not how it went. Like, we're gonna tell you, like, this is what happened to this kid.
So you're gonna get it all, which may not be for everyone.
Correct.
Which we understand and we get, and that's one great thing is there is a lot of podcasts out there that give people that opportunity that aren't ready or that don't want to know, like, all of it. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's too much. In our view, we feel like if you're gonna be into murder, it's something that not into murder, but if it's something that you're interested in.
You could say it, it's okay.
Right?
Lots of people are into murder. It's interesting. It's okay.
It is. Well, and it's crazy to think, like, how somebody's mind led them down that path, you know?
Right.
Because, like, nobody, like we were saying earlier, you can line up 10 kids, and not very many people are going to be like, I had the perfect childhood.
No, you're going to find, like, 9 out of 10 kids are going to be like, no, this fucked up shit happened when I was a kid.
Right, so then it comes down to what made one person just click and decide to kill people, which that to me is the most interesting.
Right.
Is just to see, like, how.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did it start as, like, stomping on snails on the playground?
Right. I mean, I used to salt snails all the time, and I would laugh.
Fucking slugs, dude.
Yes.
That was actually pretty cool. Or did you, like, get bullied in school? Or did you watch your mom beat your dad? Or did you watch your mom beat
you?
You know what I mean? There's, like, shit that goes down that...
Yeah. So
Did I say your dad beat your mom or your mom beat your dad?
I think your mom beat your dad, which I
don't
love.
know, because, like, my mom probably could fuck somebody up. So,
Right?
I'm
I
just
know my
saying.
mom could if she, like, unleashed that. So.
Athletic. Sorry. We're recording.
It's cool. We'll cut that out. It's fine.
Fuck it, I'm not even sorry.
I'm not even sorry.
Not even sorry. So, Ember.
Yes.
Tell me what brought you to true crime?
Okay. Well, there was 2 cases that kind of happened back to back when I was a young child. I was 6 and 7, which I was the same age as both the victims. The first one is everybody knows about was Jonbenet Ramsey. She was my same age, so that was all over the news. So of course I was always interested in that, especially because I was also, a blonde-haired child. And
no, really, you guys were both kind of like blonde hair, blue-eyed, like rosy cheek poster kids.
Yeah, and there would be some kids that would tell me at school, they would say, like, you look like you could be of relations type of thing. Of course, they didn't say that because we're all like 6.
Right.
So, anyways, so there's that one. But the one that really, I think, that stuck with me the most and definitely gave me some issues was the case of Cherise Iverson. She was 7. She was the little girl that was playing at the casino, and Jeremy Strohmeyer and David Cash, I want to say is his last name.
Anyways, we can fact check that later.
Yeah, came into the stall. Jeremy ended up dragging her into the stall and raping and then killing her. And David never said anything.
Witnessed it.
Yeah, well, he didn't witness the, like, actual murder because he was told to leave, but he knew what was... He knew.
He saw Cherise with Jeremy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He knew what was going to happen, and he never said anything, and there was never any law in place. So he never got charged with anything. And it was after that case that they started the Good Samaritan law, where you are obligated, if you see a crime happening...
Jesus Christ, like, morally. Like, you should be fucking obligated to say something, not just, like, lawfully.
Yeah, well, he was a fucking crazy person anyways. He would say things like, why should I really care? Like, I didn't know this girl. And what about, like, me? Because now my best friend's in jail forever. Like, that guy's a psychopath all on his own. So.
That's a sociopath if I've ever,
Right.
Like,
So anyways, that one really stuck with me, and I was like, I'm never going into a bathroom stall by myself ever again. Like, I did not want to go into bathrooms by myself, and when I did, still, even to this day, as a full adult, I'm in now charge of other children. And I will go into the bathroom and check every stall.
You know what I
before
used to
I get
do?
in.
And I don't know exactly why, but for the longest time, I would actually go into a bathroom stall and I would lock it.
Mm-hmm.
And if my foot actually reached, because just so you guys know, I'm a short son of a bitch. I'm only like 5'2" on a good day. I will actually sit on the toilet and then brace my feet against the door. In an attempt to prevent I don't fucking know what from coming into the stall with me.
I am the same way.
It's like, you know what though, but like 2 out of 6 times my feet won't reach, and I'm genuinely upset that I can't, like, hold the door.
That really sucks, especially if you go into a stall that doesn't have, like, it doesn't lock, and it's still, like...
See, and I don't fuck around with those. I can't.
I can't. You're like, no.
I'm not gonna do that.
No,
So...
Anyways, so that's what got me into it. So I started young. I was, like, 6, 7.
I was pretty young.
Yeah, tell me about yours.
The one that I want to... The one that really, like, opened my eyes to some stuff, which my mom was always really into true crime as well, and she always read those, like, true crime novels, and she was always watching TV shows and shit, that she probably shouldn't have been watching with me in the same room, but whatever. The one that really got me interested in true crime and law and things of that nature was Tracey Thurman.
Tell me more.
So Tracey Thurman, back in the 80s, so I think this shit went down in like 85-ish, and I don't think it actually was like big and aired and like on TV and stuff until much later. There was like a made-for-TV movie in like 1989.
Well, they had a battle with all the 80s hair bands.
Oh, fuck me, dude. Right? So I think back in 1989 is when there was a made-for-TV movie called A Cry for Help that actually discussed her situation. And this is where domestic violence laws were put into place, because Tracey Thurman was actually mentally, emotionally, and very much physically abused by her husband.
Right.
And ultimately, I want to talk about her later in another episode as like a survivor, but
Oh, we will.
essentially what happened was she was beaten in the street by her husband, Buck, who cut her throat from ear to ear and then stomped on her in front of a police officer with their child in his arms.
Oh, good.
And the cop never intervened because there were no laws that said he had to or
Yeah, let's
whatever.
go back to that whole, like, morally.
Fucking moral obligation. Like, if you see somebody cutting a woman or whatever.
Isn't it sad that, like, all of our laws are straight from people
Like,
fucking
true
shit
crime.
up?
Like,
Yeah.
literally the cop stood there and was like, I don't know what to fucking do, so...
Shoot
And
him
she-
with your gun.
Shit! Billy clubbed the fuck out of this guy. Take the baby.
Yeah. Make him bite a curb. Do something.
Shit. So she fucking lived and now wears a smiley scar
Mm-hmm.
around her throat. And Tracey Thurman is a bad motherfucker. Like, in every interview or everything I've ever read about her, I super, super love her, like, resilient,
Oh, yeah.
never say die. Like, she's a fucking goonie at heart, dude. Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. And, you know, growing up in the 80s and 90s, everybody knows, like, Unsolved Mysteries
Oh,
and
yeah.
America's Most Wanted, and they always talked about shit like that.
Right.
To where I found it so interesting that moving forward as a teenager, as soon as I was able to get on the interwebs, I made friends with a bunch of fucking weirdos.
Oh, thank you, Internet.
I know, right? That really brings everybody together.
You don't feel as weird when you're on the internet, I've
No.
decided. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's like-minded people.
Oh, for real. For real. Like, the first one I ever found was a friend of mine. His name is Joe Hiles. I'm going to plug him in here real quick.
Heck yeah.
Because he actually ran a site called Serial Killer Central, which is still available on Facebook. He's actually been on a TV show with John Walsh for collecting murder memorabilia. But he was the first person I ever found that was, like, super into serial killers. He still, like, he writes to them. They send him...
Yeah, we need to get
Oh,
him, like,
dude, like, if I could
hanging.
afford to fly Joey in for an episode, it would be bananas. But,
Right.
you know, it was the first time he actually bought me a book and sent it to me, and it's called the Serial Killer Encyclopedia. Funnest book ever.
Yes.
But it's stuff like that.
Yes.
That, like, oh my goodness, did you hear that noise coming out of me? Dennis.
Oh, Dennis.
Dennis. So, you know, you see the stuff, like Tracey Thurman shit went down when I was like 7, 8 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's funny how, like, most people that I've talked to that really get into true crime, like, when they think about it, they realize that it started
They were
young.
little chitlins.
It's kind of like how we were talking the other day. Was it you? I think it was you. When we were talking about first memories, it was you.
Oh, it was.
It was you.
Yeah.
I had to check. I'm dumb.
Oops.
Check my brain log.
Is what it is.
But yeah, like, usually people's first memories are not, like...
Pleasant memories.
No. And so it kind of goes against that whole mommy war thing of just love your kids, feed them. It doesn't matter what you feed them.
No, it really doesn't matter, like, what you do where people are like, oh, we do such and such and such an activity because then it makes my kid turn out better. No, really.
No.
Some of the most mollycoddled, super loved children.
There's, like, a fine line. You can't, like, not love them enough. You can't, like, beat the shit out of them. But you can't
Right.
over-love them. Or either way, both of those can turn to the extreme and build you a serial killer.
No, that's for real. Like, remember the carnival, shit.
Can I buy a vowel?
American Horror Story.
Oh, okay.
So the
yes.
season that was all carnival.
Yes.
And then you had Twisty the Clown, but you had the little boy that had, or no, he wasn't a little boy, he was a grown man. But
Right.
his mommy had, like, catered to him and let him throw fits and, like, gave him everything he ever wanted. And all he wanted to be was a fucking murderer. Like,
right? You gotta love your kids just enough, but not too much. There's that fine line.
shit, man. Like, you don't
It's
want your kid to,
difficult.
like, be that person where you're watching the news and they find him in a bathhouse in, like, Indiana or some shit.
I don't ever want to have, like, an Ed Gein.
Ugh,
I
nipple
don't-
belt.
Right. I don't ever want one of my
Nipple belt!
kids. Want one of my kids to keep me hidden in a room.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no!
But you never can tell.
No.
You really can't.
So, anyways, but yeah, first memories are usually never super fantastic. Mine had to do with finding my dead kitten. And that's probably why, like, I'm so... I can listen to a lot of things and I can hear a lot of things. You kill an animal and any of that, and I am like a mess. I'm a puddle.
Which is also, I'm the same way, dude. I'm like, I don't really care who dies, but if the dog dies, I'm gonna fucking riot. Like, I can't handle it.
Right.
But which kind of brings us back to the true crime thing where it talks, you know, we want to talk about murderers that are super bonkers, as well as like serial killers, because we're going to do some things that you guys probably have never heard of, and if you have, kudos.
Right.
Along with the heavy hitters that everybody has heard of, but have you heard it the way we tell it?
Right, exactly.
On top of, like, there goes that thing where I make that noise where I'm thinking. Survivors on top of, like, people that probably will grow up.
Oh, yeah.
Or could have grown up to be serial killers.
Yeah,
like, people that hurt animals. And that's, you know, current events. People...
We'll probably dedicate a couple of episodes to that. We may plug it in throughout just talking about random things, you know what I mean? Like, if we're covering a case, but if there's, like, a trending story that's happening currently, we might be like, oh, hey, by the way...
Your hair is really magnificent, by the way.
I know. I have this wonderful bun on top of my head right now.
Is that what you're going to call that? Monstrosity of a thing on your... It was hard to concentrate for a few minutes until some of the strands fell down.
It's like a tumbleweed just, like, placed upon my head.
It looked like an angry octopus for a minute. Like, you've got arms and shit, and it's doing some stuff.
I just feel like if I put a grape right under my lip, my upper lip, I'd look like a who.
Can we go get a grape?
Can we go get a grape?
So, definitely, we love to talk about some really inappropriate things, and we will. And we both use very dark humor,
right.
Which is something that we wanted to touch base on. Don't ever think that in the process of us talking about a rape or a murder or torture or whatever, like if one of us throws out a super inappropriate joke, we realize that it is exactly what I just said, an inappropriate joke.
It's probably not the best, but it's how we cope with it. And in no way are we, like, I don't know, victim shaming or anything like that. Most of the time when we crack jokes, we're making fun of the actual piece of shit murderer.
Right.
Than anything else. And, you know, we never want to offend anybody, but that's going to happen. We can't please everybody.
No, realistically, I think that there's really no way to do a podcast on anything. Unless it's like even crocheting. Somebody somewhere is going to be fucked up about technique or whatever. And so we understand that not everybody's going to enjoy this, which is why we wanted to do this intro. Because at the end of this, you're going to be like, either I really super love these chicks and I want to hear more, or these are two of the most annoying twats on radio and I want to avoid their shit.
Right, which happens to like 50% of people that actually meet us, so it's fine.
I mean, in real life, we're ready for this kind of dejected, fuck you, I don't want to be your friend, because it happens in real life.
But too. At the end of the day, we're still going to talk about it, because we're self-centered.
We really like ourselves.
We do. We think we're hilarious.
It's true.
But no, like, also...
Yeah, but everybody else thinks we're pretty fucking funny, too.
Yeah, sometimes.
I don't, like, you let some nuggets fly by that I'm like... more.
And I don't even know what happens. It just kind of flies out, and I'm just as surprised as everybody else with what I say. So.
You and me
both.
Jesus Christ.
So sorry. We'll figure out how to fix that in the future. But we're gonna try to go over cases that, like we've talked about, that not a lot of people have really heard or really know about. Oh. All right. Sorry about that. The middle one found a way to escape and come into the room.
I literally have no idea what the fuck we were talking about.
I don't either.
Because when his cute little face pops in the door and says shit like, "Hi, Angel," I'm like,
yep. Yep. Memory erased.
Oh my god.
Delete.
She really does make the cutest fucking kids, guys.
Oh, thank you. I try. I'm just a copy machine, apparently. They all look alike.
Except for Chad. Chad looks alike, but is not similar.
He's not, like, stamped.
Because Joey and Jameson are pretty spot on, like...
Yeah.
If Jameson didn't have such a big head...
I know his...
They really would look like twins.
Oh, yeah.
They would.
I'm sure that when they get older, too, there's going to be the whole, hey, can I have your ID for tonight, please? I just know that's gonna happen.
I can hear the ice clinking in the glass, Mama.
Hey, it is past 5 p.m.
Just so you guys know, every now and again, you're going to hear a beverage clinking around in my glass, and I guarantee you it's fucking vodka.
Well, we're gonna be covering some horrible shit. Sometimes you just gotta drink through it, man.
I also have teenagers.
Yeah.
And so I may or may not have some unhealthy coping mechanisms that involve Russian potato salad.
Hey, dude. I don't even know what to say to that. I just offer my support to you right now.
Little sons of bitches. But moving forward, we wanted to cap this episode at about 30 minutes just to lead you into when we talk about things. If you're upset by some of the language that we use, because I will curse, and I curse a lot, and
Me too. It's my favorite.
I feel like it emphasizes
Oh yeah.
who I am. I use I use curse words like
And in the
oh my goodness, donus.
donuts.
But I also I don't police my friend on her words. I don't police myself. It's
Right.
very rare that I stop somebody, unless they use like the N word. And I'm like,
Right.
whoa, was that fucking
Whoa.
necessary? Like, Jesus God, you took it there.
Right.
But you know what? There's been times that I've been in the middle of a conversation and said something, and had somebody look at me, and I'm like, really, was it that bad? Like,
what did I say?
What'd I say? So, like we said, back at the ranch of, we're not going to be able to please everybody, and every now and again, you're probably going to hear a nugget slide through that
You're gonna be
somebody's
like,
like, what
"What?"
the fuck? Like, you use that word? Yeah,
Yeah.
man, and lots of other people do. So, just know that when we're talking about the gories,
Mm-hmm.
we're not going to be like reading into our case and be like, and then moving forward. No, I'm going to be like, and then he poked holes like in the dude's throat and
Right.
pulled his trachea out of his neck. Like, I'm going to tell you these things.
Yeah, random fucking movie quotes will be like
Oh, and you know what?
injected everywhere like Botox in a rich old bitch's face.
Wearing fucking velour jumpsuits, old real estate agent ex-wife. Jesus.
But I remember what we were talking about.
Oh.
I was saying how we were going to cover like cases that are big that not a lot of people know about.
Right.
And then we'll also cover our Kardashians of murderers. You know, the ones that everybody knows and loves, but nobody really knows why they're more famous than the other ones, because the ones that we cover
I just think that we should be allowed to trademark that, because Ember came up with that. The Kardashians of fucking murder. They're popular, but nobody knows why.
Right? There's many others that are way better, worse, you know what I mean?
Throw it out there. You can say it. We discussed this. Talent.
Yeah, talent.
There is a certain air of talent when it comes to getting away with murder.
Oh, yeah.
And we literally discussed this prior to this episode. We were like, you can say talent. It takes talent to do something like that and not get caught. The Zodiac.
Yeah, and we're going to say things like, I love this person, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't mean we actually love them or that we've romanticized them. It's just the...
Like, we're not writing them fucking fan mail. We don't have, like, weird little shrines in our closet and
right?
shit.
Well,
but,
I might.
Just tea. But, you know what? Like, when you're a person that enjoys these things...
Right.
You might have a favorite serial killer. I do.
I do.
Who's your favorite?
Which ones?
Well, if it's your favorite bitch, it should be on the top and foremost.
Well, I love all of them. I really, really, really like Dean Coral, though.
Candyman.
The Candyman.
That is a good one.
And we'll cover that one.
We will be covering that as well.
That's my favorite Kardashian, anyways. Even though he's like the sad Kardashian. I don't know which one's the sad. I know nothing really about Bruce. Kaylin.
I don't know what we call him anymore.
Yeah. It's like that one where kind of famous, but not really.
Because he was like super famous though.
Yeah, well then Dean Coral got swept under the rug when John Wayne Gacy came in.
Oh, but he's a fuck. I can't wait to cover some of these.
Yeah.
My favorite one is actually like unfounded. Yeah. We don't know if it's true or false because it's Sean Bean.
Yeah.
Like 1700s. Sean Bean. Actually, cannibalism, incest, like.
Covers all the bases.
Oh my goodness.
That wraps up into a terrible
But they don't
human.
really know if this person actually existed, which I want to do a piece on him eventually because that was actually one that I found in the serial killer encyclopedia that Joey gave me that I super
But
fucking
we
loved.
can believe.
Oh, I can believe in lots of things.
I mean, people can believe in Jesus. We can believe in him.
I feel like narwhals are nothing but unicorns in scuba suits. That's why they have a fucking horn, and that's where all the unicorns have gone. They're living inside little scuba suits. Narwhals are fucking unicorns in disguise. People know this.
They're like, fuck the land. Let's go under.
People, dude, it was legend. They started killing them and chopping off their fucking horns. They started drinking their blood in fucking Harry Potter. They were like, peace, bitches.
We're
and
evolving.
They crawled, they crawled in a fucking whale-shaped scuba suit with their horns sticking out the top. And they're just...
People believe we crawled out of the ocean from slime.
Unicorns went in.
Yep. How do we get here?
I don't know, dude. I apologize in advance, dude. You guys are just gonna have to, like, suffer along. But, anyways. Dude, your living room sounds like fucking Thunderdome.
It is.
We should, like, suit them up, for real. Like, put them in little bubble balls like hamsters.
They have those at Walmart.
Now?
Yeah, for, like, little kids.
Why the fuck are we not at Walmart?
I don't know. We should, and then we should, like, put them on the trampoline and let them just go crazy.
By the by, we did talk about movie quotes being randomly thrown in here.
Yeah.
If during an episode, I swear to God, like, I'm gonna make this a thing eventually, obviously it's not on the table at this particular juncture because we're just starting out. I feel like if we throw out a random quote,
right,
and somebody, like, Twitters,
that...
Facebooks it, whatever, and comes back and can tell me where it came from, they should get a prize.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even care. Like...
But everybody can just Google that shit.
Oh, fuck, you're right.
Curse you, internet. It's the world's best and worst thing at the same time.
It really is. Because you're right.
Yeah.
And people will do that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would probably do it, depending on what the prize was. Like, let's be real.
I concur. If somebody were like, tell me the lyrics from this 1995 one-hit wonder for concert tickets, I'd have been like, fucking, bing.
It's not cheating, it's utilizing your resources. It's fine.
You just justified cheating in the best way ever. That was fucking awesome. I love you.
Anyways, so our first murder that we're actually going to cover it's huge. It's nasty. There's all sorts of things.
It's local.
Yeah, and it's local for us, and it's something that I have looked up and no other podcast has covered yet. So I think it's going to be fun.
I think my favorite thing about our first episode is that it was actually in Reader's Digest, and there was a made-for-TV movie about it. Mm-hmm. And we are located in Utah.
Yes.
And there is a lot of nastiness that breeds in Utah.
Yes.
Not just crazy laws made by church and state.
Right.
But it breeds some fucked up murders.
Oh, yeah.
And this one was something that, like, my family discussed on multiple occasions.
I found out, I was talking the other day with my family, kind of telling them about doing this podcast and stuff, and my one aunt, she was all like, oh yeah, I know all about that, I've read up on all these people, and I was like, oh, you like murder? Like,
isn't that the best?
I was like, oh, I did not know anybody in the family was like that, because I love my mother, but she's always like, you have like this weird thing with murder.
Yeah, well... So my mom's in a nursing home, and she's not mentally sound anymore. But that's one of the things that I thoroughly enjoyed about my mother when she was younger and everything was like, she would buy these books.
Yeah.
And be like, oh my God, you should read this. And I was like 12 or 13, and she hands me this fucked up true crime novel with like pictures and shit in it. She's like, which, by the by, we're going to cover that episode. Yes. But it was a book that I read, that she gave me. Dude, I was like 12. And she's like, you should read that fucking shit. Yeah. Single mom, very cool. Love my mom. She used to build cabinets, ride Harley's, fucking cool lady.
Right.
Very into true crime. But if you like my mother-in-law, if ever I go like left and I go a little rogue about true crime.
You said left, but went right. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's what I do. Adult ADD is awesome. She actually, on more than one occasion, has looked Spencer dead in the face. Spencer's my husband, by the way, and been like, "There's something fucking wrong with her."
Well, that's like I love my mother-in-law. I haven't even told her about this. I'm scared.
You can't.
I know.
You can't.
I'm like, I don't
like until we're a little bit.
She is the best person on the face of the planet.
Okay, listen.
And so
Her mother-in-law is literally like pure light, sweetest baby angel, just adorable person. She doesn't have a mean bone in her body.
how she birthed Quinn, I have no idea.
No,
I don't know where that came from.
dude. I'm not sure.
But yes.
But your mother-in-law is the sweetest person ever, and sometimes I say things in front of her, and then I'm like,
And my mom enjoys true crime. She's just kind of more true crime PG. Like, she loved CSI and, like, all of those kind of shows. And we used to watch, like, America's Most Wanted and different things like that. But to, like, actually get in and to talk and to listen about serial killers every day.
Interwebs.
Yeah, is
because
not
now,
her thing.
No, because when it was, America's Most Wanted or Unsolved Mysteries, they didn't talk about the dirty, right? Which you can actually look up now.
Yeah, thank you. There were so many mysteries I needed to know.
I know. People can't be like, and then she was tortured. But I want to know how.
Yeah, like, because then you can't be like, oh, this person is a monster. It's the most horrible thing ever. He raped and killed somebody. Okay, well, so did the 8 other people that you mentioned, too. Like, what makes them different? What makes them
exponentially worse?
Yeah, what made them
than the previous or latter
all-stars of the asshole Olympics?
And then you could be like, dun dun dun.
Yeah.
And that's why we tell people that we might not be your cup of tea.
And we're okay with that. But
we are okay with that.
We hope that people enjoy it.
And that's,
I guess
that's all we can hope for.
Right? So our first episode, I think, is going to be really fun. Nobody's talked about it. It's something that people here in Utah know all about, which made us not think about it. But, like, globally...
a lot of people in Utah don't, though.
Really?
Like, the
yeah,
old schoolers like me now, and, like, my generation and before.
Yeah, my
generation. But,
generation's...
like, the millennials and, you know what I mean? Like, y'all just don't know.
Man, we didn't care. We had
I forget
Backstreet
how
Boys.
young you are.
I know.
Oh, shit, dude. We had Backstreet Boys, too, but I was old enough to enjoy it in a different kind of way.
Yeah. Ours was like that raw...
Wink, wink, nod, nod.
Ours was that raw, weird obsession.
Fucking pervert.
Right.
I'm a pervert.
Right.
So, thank you guys so much for tuning in to our introduction episode. I realize that there's going to be hiccups as we go. You're going to hear things like kids in the background or husbands saying bonkers shit. You're going to hear our pets. We record this at my house. We record it at Ember's house.
And shout out to our wonderful husbands who are not as into true crime, but support us in all of our weirdness.
Yes. And also, thank you, Nathan Levesque, for putting together all of our theme music.
Yes.
Who we will actually plug in so that you guys have an opportunity to check out his shit, because he's a creepy son of a bitch in all of the best ways.
When we drop all of this kind of stuff and on our Facebook page, we'll be sure to send a link for him and his other stuff.
Yes.
That he has to offer. Anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed, and we hope you laugh your ass off, stay smart, and stay out of chalk lines.
Wear your sunscreen.
Always wear your sunscreen.
And stay out of chalk lines.